There we go. There we go. Hey, I can even hear myself. Echo. Aloha, Lancel. No? Uh-oh, I got it working. Hold on, I'm going to shut my door. In case I use any curse words. Hey, thank you very much, John Marcus. How's your day going? Whoops. Hey, thank you very much, Tazar. Obviously just getting started here, so I'm going to give people time to file in there. Oh, and if you see since there's nobody here yet, I'll talk about my fish for a minute. If you see the fish tank has a lot of extra aeration and sponge filters in it, that's because our water here in Austin got horrible all of a sudden. I have no idea what happened, but for those who are fishy people, our ammonia is through the roof, and this is like straight out of the tap. Our nitrites straight out of the tap are like 5. Like, it doesn't even seem like it should be safe to drink. But anyways, so now to treat my water for the house, I drain it out of, I get all the water for the other fish tanks in the house from this fish tank, and then I refill this one. And then it's got a really good filter that helps fix it. When can we, Papa Loaf, I will fix that immediately. Papa Loaf says, when can we enchant epic rings? Again, I'm trying to move away from the whole artifact type thing, but that was absolutely an oversight when I add stuff. I've got a checklist I'm supposed to go down of all this stuff to do. Because there's like at least 10 places I have to change data. But apparently I missed that. Again, this is one of those things I blame. I'm going to blame this on my child. Because I've been getting a lot of interruptions lately while trying to work. Because I never used to make mistakes before she was home all day long to interrupt me. Straight face. And hey, Denaru, it's going well enough. I think it's going as well as anybody else in the world right now. Oh, let's see. Trying to think what stuff. We had a good team meeting yesterday. I actually posted a picture because we managed to get, usually there's half the team doesn't make it. We actually had a good number of people show up yesterday. I actually forgot there were 3 people not there, which because I always forget about Tassilo, our web guy, also known as people used to call him Luigi on streams. The 5 or 6 times he'd be on a stream. But he is our German web guy who he was in Barcelona. I don't even know where he is right now. But anyways, he'd been waiting for Barcelona to lift its lockdown because he was going to go on a bicycle tour. But he was not on the stream. He's having to do all of his connection stuff over a phone, I think. Oh, and today I'm in Rift's End. I forget why I came here. There's somebody here I came to see, though. Hey, thank you very much, Eileen. Alright, we're up to like 60 people. I can start talking about some of the slightly less gossipy news type stuff, which is one of the things that came up is we've got one and only is one of those guys who's been part-time helping us out, and he's going to be doing more full-time type stuff for us. He is working on, hadn't talked about much because we hadn't talked about it as a team until yesterday to make sure everybody was going, oh, we got a hype train! I don't know what happened to trigger a hype train, but I got a hype train. Don't feel obliged to hype me up, guys. I'd rather you save it for some of these new streamers or old streamers. Whoever you want. You can give me a little. How about just 2? Go to 2 and then stop. Don't get too crazy. Thank you, Lancel. Thank you, Trezapile. Thank you, Hodor Sodor. Thank you, Eileen Dragonfire. Thank you, Z of Silverdale and Din Haru and Tazar again. But anyways, but yesterday we did finally have the talk over the team. It seemed everybody was behind it and was actually super excited about this stuff. I had started one and only working on it a while back, but the mount stuff we believe will be done in fairly short order. We'll see. It may get held up by some art stuff. Thank you, Shadow Vice. Thank you. But I think it's going to make pretty good progress. We talked through all the different cases that we've had that are similar to it. We also talked about how you get a horse. We also talked about the pretty much. Oh, and thank you, Lancel, again. Thank you. But anyway, so that's going to happen. That'll probably happen sooner than I think most people expected. I think I may have put that in Q4 at some point, but I think it'll probably be more like Q3. As in maybe next month. Not this release, but maybe next month. We've got a number of cases we walked through. Hold on. I'm reading. I'm way... answer one of the things I saw there that confused me in chat is yes, Mindframe69, you are talking about Pantheon. That was one that was Brad McQuaid, which actually I talked to him like 2 days before he passed away. I don't know if they've stopped development on it. I try to support those guys however I can, but because I was a big EverQuest guy, but anyways, yeah, there's actually I think there were 2 people who died that were related to the project in a short amount of time. So sadness. We actually have a tribute to him in Britannia Graveyard if you go there. So if you want to go check it out, you can. Let's see. All right, so back to the main topics there. So the mount stuff. So the question we had was whether or not how we get you a mount. Is it something you buy from a merchant? Is it something you tame and use the taming skill? There are some people on the team who had concerns about that, and thank you very much, Ozzy Questor. But there are some people who had concerns about that because if you know much about taming, it's generally you start by beating the thing to an inch of its life and then trying to tame it. And people had concerns about doing that with horses. But it may be that you actually do tame and then you convert them. There will obviously be some that we monetize on. Mounts in most games are like one of the biggest things they monetize on, so I'm sure we'll have some of that. I brought up the idea, although I think, I'm trying to remember if it was dead silence or if people intentionally changed the subject on me. But I brought up the idea of making horses dyeable. And then I immediately went and got the Yellow Brick Road, not Wonderland, somewhere over the rainbow. You know what I'm talking about. But yes, the horse in that is the horse of many colors. So that just reminded me. Horses should be dyeable, and then you can have like your obscene horse that changes colors. Yeah, horse of a different color. There you go. See? Seems there's a disagreement on whether or not horses should be dyeable. Why are you trying to ruin my fun? But anyways, that is coming along nicely. For those who have not heard me talk about it, we're doing more of the traditional type thing. There's kind of multiple different levels. There's kind of the horse level that you see in probably one of the games that did it better was still whatchamacallit? Elder Scrolls, Morrowind. But yeah, they had the full horse and the full horse physics and all that type of stuff. Ours will be more like what is in a traditional game, where it's like you use it, the horse appears, you can get on the horse. If you get attacked, or you do something that's going to knock you off horse, you go into a building with a low ceiling, you'll get knocked off the horse and the horse will vanish. So again, there's just a lot of complications. As soon as you try to make the horse an actual physical object, it will come up. It will have, it'll be nice for visuals and that type of stuff as well. but it'll also have some stats that come along with it for faster movement, more carrying. There may actually be a few player skills that go along with it so that you can level up skills, and that's how you choose whether you want to how much your horse can carry, or possibly a bonus for how much you can carry. Let's see. Oh wow, we got a pretty good 124 people. That's not quite a Friday stream, but I was trying to remember who was streaming the game right now. I actually was going to stream earlier, and then I saw that Marquis Dragon was on. I didn't want to steal his thunder and make him look bad. Just kidding. He always has tons of people on there. He's awesome. And let's see. So I know the topic, since I've already seen a bunch of people go into it on there, that people want to hear about is I made the very tough decision to remove a very well-known player from the game today. I talked it over with the team. We've been talking about it for a while. There were specific, I don't want to go into too many specifics on why. If he feels like it, he can share why. There were some specific things that were done, but it is also to address part of what pushed it over the edge of me making the decision to do it was just the general toxicity in the community that had been pushed. I saw some people saying, great, you just lost a bunch of players by banning him. Well, we were losing players pretty steadily, and when I talked to them on the way out, because I do sometimes reach out to longtime players if I see somebody leave, that there were 2 in a row here that were more people who I can't take the toxicity that's been introduced, and digging into it, it's always points to the same people. So this is not a complete banning of an entire group of people. Again, Fizzle took some actions did some things that were unwise, that needed to be addressed and should have been addressed before this. I honestly just hoped that there would be some little time would calm things down, but did not. It seemed to be getting worse, so I felt like I had to take actions, even though this is a really painful band-aid to pull off. So again, it needed to happen. I'm not happy about it. I wish things had gone differently, and not that much more to say. One thing I will say is I've had some players also who reached out to me who received, I'm trying to remember what happened to them. I think they got banned from the forums for something, but one of the things that came up just in the discussion with him was that he informed me that I couldn't ban him. I didn't ban him, by the way. I think he was just worried because I banned someone else. But he was very concerned. He was trying to emphasize that I couldn't ban him because all the actions that he took to be mean were outside the game. To be toxic were outside the game. So there's no magic wall that's going to be between like external outside the game and you in-game. If you are a detriment to the community, we need to deal with that. We can't have the community continually to carry this emotional burden, especially these days with how much extra stress people have going on with just the pandemic and everything else. So that's something we've tolerated for far too long. And there's a ton of these people who they know what the rules are, and they try to ride right along the edge of avoiding getting banned, and then bargain with you if they cross that line a little bit. And that's just we need to not be as tolerant. I know that there's some people who are saying things like First Amendment or whatever of protected speech, which I'm absolutely a huge fan of protected speech, but that's not what the game is for. That's not what the forum's for. And that's not, even like for contact me on Twitter or posting on Twitter, that's not what it's for. Those are there for improving the community. Those are there for improving the game. If there's people who are saying negative things that are actually constructive, that's fine. But there's a lot of people who are making personal attacks, who are making attacks on the game for stuff that is either not true or just can't be fixed. It's part of the design that they want changed, and just making a really negative attack. They're there for helping new players find stuff. They're there for people who are doing in-game transactions and want to do it in a asynchronous form in terms of like, I got ingots to sell or whatever. The forums are not some place for you to go and see how far you can push your protected speech rights. There is no protected speech rights on any of that stuff. When forum posting becomes so negative that it's damaging the game and driving away players, that is not helping the game. The forums are there to help the game. And this does not mean you cannot be critical of things. I think people know I am super tolerant of critical stuff. In fact, that's one of the things I've had a number of people reach out to me saying that I have to be less tolerant of people being critical of me because it reflects poorly on the game when I sit there and take it over and over again. So that's one I will try to be less tolerant. I will try to be more active in dealing with that stuff. But again, the forums are there to help people, just like all these things are there to help the community and the game. When people are doing things that are destroying that, when they're sucking the fun out of the game for people, I mean, we need to make a change. It should have happened long ago. It should have been more strict. But again, we try to set up these guidelines, and whatever guidelines you set, people will ride right on that edge, and it's tough. But yeah, there were some actions also taken out of the game that we'll probably look into as well. But yeah, people should not think that they can go sit on somebody else's Twitch stream and sexually harass them without it coming back to get them. I mean, it's just crazy that people think that I can be as toxic as I want to, and if I get banned in the forums, it shouldn't affect my game, my character in game, or if I do it in somebody else's whatever social stream it is, or say racist things on whatever platform. Like, we got to keep the things clean, and people know we got to clean up the toxicity. Anyways, enough talk on that stuff. But yes, so again, today's decision to actually take a severe action against a very prominent player was not an easy one, but I strongly believe it's the right one. And we talked it over as a team and slept on it, and it still felt like the best thing to do for the game, even though it will cause some short-term pain. Could cause some long-term pain, but again, we believe the pain it will cause is far less than the alternative. So, and yes, it is emotionally exhausting for me, because this is also, I think people know that I'm at heart a pretty nice guy. Speaking of which, being nice, let me thank you guys. NBNN News, thank you. And also, happy birthday, Laz. In fact, I'll just to torture you guys while I have an audience here for you, Laz. Happy birthday to you. Everybody else is singing along at home. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lazarus. Happy birthday to you. I almost put that as a message of the day for you, by the way. I figured people would play or figure I was playing favorites. So, I'll give you one too later, John. I'll send you guys off on a low note with a song. Let's see. NBNN News, thank you. Snugsy one, thank you. Oh, Lancel, thank you. Crispy Fried Chicken, thank you. Amfrish, thank you for the follow. You're here on an interesting day. Again, this is hopefully a turning point for improving the toxicity in some of the community stuff today. We'll see. And I will also say I had some people reach out to me in game saying I'm in House of Mangar. What does that mean for me? Am I banned? And that doesn't mean everybody in House of Mangar is banned. That means that everybody in House of Mangar should understand we're not going to tolerate the level of toxicity that we've had for a while. Also, I've already talked to Fizzle because he was the guild leader. I will transfer the guild tag and his stuff to somebody else so the guild can remain. So, all right. Let's see. Let me catch up on some stuff. Hey, thank you very much for the gifted subs there, Eileen. It's Night Owl 01's birthday. Hey, that sounds like a good way to spend your birthday, Night Owl. And I will not sing to you. I will sing at the end of the stream, though, to send you off. Okay, let's talk about other fun stuff. So there's been one of the hot topics here lately is, and this one, again, there's no right answer, but I think there has been some confusion on this. I've been working on a lot of food stuff. And actually, I haven't done that much work on the food stuff. I've been trying to, this is still me trying to get my head around the problems with our crafting system and just the economy in general and trying to look at things. Now, I started with the food stuff because when I look at what stuff is sold more than anything else in game and what stuff is, crafted, what stuff gets consumed, it's one of the top things. Items and those type things are awesome, and people make a lot off of them. They sell for a lot, but the thing that gets made and consumed and used on a daily basis is food. And right now, it does not add a dimension to the game. It does not. Hey, thank you very much, Anonymous, for the 69 bits. I'm not sure what that's implying. And also thank you, Hook Boy, and Shimituzoko. Oh, I'm way behind here. So anyway, so food, I know to a lot of people, as soon as I was talking about food, I saw a bunch of people chiming in. That's the worst thing you should ever work on. That needs nothing. You said you were going to work on fixing old stuff, not new stuff. Well, that's what I'm trying to do by working on food. Food should be a bigger system than what it is. There's only a handful of recipes that actually get used. If you do a chart of recipes crafted, you can see there's a fair number of recipes that get crafted, but most of them are only 3 or 5 or 7 a week. And those tend to be things that are getting crafted purely for the crafting experience. If you look at what things are actually consumed, that's a very different story. And the graph is, 70 foods or whatever off the side of my table when I make a table that's infinite screen width, but the number of foods that actually get consumed are very small. And it's pretty much just a handful of recipes make up 95% of what gets consumed. And that's to me, that's a problem, especially considering that food is the most used consumable in game, the most crafted thing. So this was me trying to go back and take a system that is in game and change the design somewhat to actually make it meaningful. Right now, it's not meaningful. It's just a matter of, what to do. Now, part of this comes down to I believe the original plan for this system was a matter of people would pick their foods based on the scarcity of the item. That's a lot of our economy was based on that concept of some things would be scarce. And that would be what made you choose one item over another. Well, that we know that's not the reality, and that's one of those things I think we found making things scarce can be cool in some situations, but making it scarce for a lot of stuff like consumables and things like that, it ends up just being frustrating. People feel like they just have to farm like mad to get stuff. So scarcity, and that's also same thing. I mean, that's kind of why I introduced artifacts into the economy, is because I felt like there needed to be something scarce, something that wasn't just super common that you could find 20 of an adventure, an outing. But whereas crafting, you can always craft most of that stuff. It's not hard to craft that stuff. Those that ends up being the challenge becomes the scarce part, is getting the exact stuff you want onto the crafted item. But with the food, there's not the scarcity in there, so it ends up not really even being a choice. You can always have the food you want practically. There's a few that are in there, but I looked at the systems, and maybe there's an option that is better in terms of not doing the point system that I've talked about, which is basically breaking the system down from right now you get 2 food buffs, whatever you want, 2 food buffs. So people always pick the 2 best ones. This was trying to set up a system for making it so you could use multiple buffs, but the lesser foods were counted less towards how many of the buffs you could have. So basically having a 6-point system where the good foods right now are 3 points, so you could still have the same 2 buffs if you want to, but trying to make the lesser ones somewhat meaningful so there are actually choices going on. So that part is new tech, but it's tech that we needed for something else. So that I haven't 100% settled on that. I've been going back and doing a lot of spreadsheets and trying to evaluate best fixes for things and move some things away from being apple to apple comparisons in terms of the food stuff, because there's food does far too little different things right now. Trying to get it to do more things, so there's more apple to orange type comparisons, there's more choices, there's more ways you can use food to customize yourself is important. But anyways, so reworking the food, I know to a lot of people is a why the heck are you doing that instead of item X, Y, or Z? But I do believe it is not currently really thought of as a big important thing in game. I mean, I think advanced players know that like it's not a big thing because you have to have food. But what I'm trying to do is make it so it is something that there is some thought, there are some choices you can make with it. Let's see. But anyway, so that's part of why food is on there, but that's also looking at the food. I think the thing that got people upset, which I have an item to address on that as well, was I put out a poll I just posted on Twitter because I was trying to get just a rough feedback from people. Relative value of things. And I think the poll confused a few people and we actually talked on the team. I had like a big long write-up for it, for here's what it was, and everybody read it and said, nobody's going to read all that crap. Your description's too long. It's too confusing. Do it differently, which we did. It was still probably too long, too confusing. You guys didn't really get it. But it was really trying to figure out the relative value of things to players. So for instance, the idea would be looking at it for foods, but really it can apply, the same thing applies to skills, it applies to consumables all over the place, which is, let's see. All right, well, people are now, Ultima Online, you're speculating. I would not ban you for something you said on Facebook. I would ban you if you went into somebody else's, and I never said that was a thing. I'm not going to go ban people. Now, if you go onto the Facebook Shroud of the Avatar page and start attacking people on there, then that's something that, yeah, you could be banned for that. But again, trying to get off track. And again, I knew it's such a fiery topic. I knew you guys would be very attached to it and try to figure out all the perversions and act like it's going to be something horrible. One person was banned. There were a handful of people who were banned from the forums or put on auto-moderate forums because we suspected they would misbehave because of the one person banned. But this is not something we take lightly. I banned one person, I guess about a month ago, I banned the guys for botting. I've been giving warnings on some of that when I see that happening now, but I haven't even banned those guys. I take banning very, very seriously. I've banned like maybe a dozen guys in the past few years, but that is something that needs to happen more, honestly. But anyways, back to the food stuff. So there probably will be some more cooking skills come up. But again, what I'm trying to get to with the cooking is I'm trying to make cooking recipes meaningful, trying to make it so there's a reason. Just like right now, you kind of have to figure out the balance of how you want to put your deck together, for your combat bar. That same type thing can be true for a little bit for food, but it also is just to make more, give players choices. When there's always one thing that is absolutely apples to apples best, why are you going to use anything but that unless the item is super scarce? So all right, hold on. Do. All right, hold on. Got to deal with somebody. There we go. I think that did it. Maybe. As somebody just said, there's probably going to be about 15 players who leave the game. But that is better than the community remaining in a negative, toxic way that drowns out the constructive talk of how to fix the game in a proper way. Again, sorry I'm getting distracted by chat there. Which I knew I would today. This is not a surprise. But yeah, and this is also part of the reason why is when there's a set of people who are screaming super loudly about the things they want it in a very toxic and frustrating way. It drowns out the other people who are actually making really good suggestions. So I'm sorry that it is going to drive away 15 people. We're okay with that, though. I mean, that's less than 1% of the active players in the game, and if that's what it takes to get the community to be less toxic and more constructive, and for people not to feel like it's frustrating going to the game, it's totally fine. So, but anyways, back to constructive talk. So yeah, so food, there will probably be some more skills that come up with it. Right now, again, I'm looking at some other options. I'd already started on my changes for what I call the channel system, which is the system that says you can have 2 blessings and you can have 1 shield spell and you can have 2 foods. But updating that to handle more variety and more options in it. So that, again, that's something that need to be done anyways. There's also some bad logic in there, and also trying to clean that up to make that better. But again, this isn't really a new feature. This is trying to improve an existing feature that is underutilized due to poor actual results. But I'm looking at other people's posts. There's a lot of good feedback. I saw some feedback on other ways to simplify it, and bringing it down to all foods give 1 4-hour buff. I saw was one of them that was an interesting idea. But trying to look at all these things to try and make sure I'm at least understanding. There's a good post. I think it was an Elron post. Elron makes a lot of good posts. But I've got it up here somewhere on my browser that has 100 tabs open. But anyways, there's a number of good ideas for food and trying to make food more meaningful, and some of that does include skills. But I'm going to be looking at all that stuff. Hopefully I can wrap up all this stuff by next week. But again, it's one of those things I'm trying to get out there, but I don't want to rush it. But it is one of the items that, this is not something that has some type of difficult to roll back change. If I need to roll back to the old version, it's not going to be a big deal. And there will be some new foods. I believe the new fish. I'm trying to remember now that we said that. I believe the new fish are going to be online. Yesterday during our team meeting, which was like 2 hours long, I was distracted because I was dealing with some community stuff. So I'm pretty sure, though, that the new 4 new fish will be online, which means I'll have to get some new recipes going as well. And I think, I'm trying to remember the other, I'll put him on the spot. He's probably in here listening right now. But I think we're going to have the Overworld Episode 2 maps, like mini maps, working. So we'll see. That is, I believe, I can go check the stand-up notes, but I believe that is what Liz Rostov has moved over to work to. And what Arca said, complaints are good. I totally want to hear you guys' complaints. The thing I don't want to hear is pointless attacking. I do want to hear people. If you're frustrated, again, this is one of those things I've said probably 1,000 times on streams and in forums and other stuff. I understand that some people get passionate about stuff, which I take as a good thing. It's a compliment that we have enough there and we have enough good stuff that they're passionate about wanting to make the game better. We just want to make sure that the people who are pushing for things are wanting to make the game better. And part of that starts with making sure you are not intentionally poisoning the community to drive people away. So, and yes, everything needs maps. And I will tell Coswald Dirthmy, I will mention that at one point I was talking during the team meeting telling List that we had to get all the maps done. We had to get them all done. And he said, well, I don't think I can get them done now, but that may be next release. And, I was like, well, we got to make them simpler, just use the episode 2 maps. And then he was like, oh, you mean just the episode 2 maps? So he accidentally pretended, at least suggested, that he could get all maps in the game. I think there's 80 that don't have mini maps right now. Get them all done in a release. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'd want to stick a fork in his eye before he'd work on that for a full release. So, one thing we could do. Do I look stressed? Why would I be stressed? Anyways, I'm trying to remember. I believe it's Browncoat Jason had asked for the FBX models for lots of stuff in the game for you guys to go print things. And I actually put together, I misunderstood. We have a naming convention for FBXs. Some things are just called whatever.fbx, some are called soda.fbx, and some are called port whatever.fbx. So I misunderstood and grabbed all the soda and port. I thought those were all of our original items. But I was informed that if it says soda, it may contain some pieces that were from store-bought art, so I've got to go redo the bundle. But I'm trying to get almost every FBX in the game that we've created that is 100% original content by us, which is hundreds of things. Trying to get those in FBX format and get that to, I believe it's Browncoat Jason. Oh, yes, that was Browncoat Jason. Browncoat Jason, I have not forgot about you. I have ignored you technically because I didn't respond directly to you. I responded to El Garion and told him I'd get them. But I am trying to get those for you. I just grabbed too many things, which I was actually kind of surprised because I think the bundle I'd made for you originally was like 14 gigabytes of FBX files. But this will be, for those who are wondering, it'll be smaller than that. Better be smaller than that. I haven't gone to see how much I have to pull out, but this will be the FBX files, not necessarily the textures that go along with them. There's some things I might be able to release the textures for them, but that's one of those things I think people know we kind of started as kind of a community Kickstarter-y type thing, and we've always been big on trying to share and also let you guys help with stuff. So that was something, the reason I got onto that topic and reminded of that was that's something that if people want to, maybe we could let you guys try to do some maps. This may be a horrible idea, and I'm sure that somewhere out there, probably List or Damon or Undone or somebody's cringing, but maybe I could give you guys access on QA to do the slew command so you guys could slew up and do some screenshot stuff. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to go try it out and see if you could actually get decent shots. Our start form is we basically take the map and we put it in the editor into orthographic view, which basically, rather than being, it's basically what you would get if you had an infinitely distant camera that was zoomed in to that space. So basically your eye rays are all parallel is what orthographic means versus perspective. So we do it from an orthographic so that we get a better angle. So, but anyways, on the crowdsource stuff, I was just thinking of that because of crowdsource stuff, but I will be getting Browncoat Jason some FBX files, and the main purpose for those, again, most of them won't have textures or materials, but that is so if people want to, do a 3D print was the example I heard people talking about. You guys can totally 3D print some stuff. And yes, Oopa the Veil, that's kind of what I was thinking, is there'd be atmospheric haze. Because it's not orthographic, it might be slightly off in a way that would be very difficult to properly fix. Also, I think if you did it that way, if I gave you that version we pull out, you'd probably get a lot of popping on stuff because of the LODs. We do have an LOD bias command in there, by the way. I'm trying to remember if I've exposed that to only the GMs or if that is exposed to everyone. But basically, that's something that lets you turn off LOD completely if you want to. LOD being the level of detail that makes models pop in and out. Hey, thank you, Rubakai. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, we try. Again, we're a small team, in case you don't know much about us. Since I got 177 people here, there's probably a few new people out there. My name is Chris Spears. I am I don't even know what to call myself anymore. I run Shroud of the Avatar. We've got a team of about 11 people who, a couple of them are part-time, most of them are full-time, who work on making new content for the game. We are pioneers in that we started working from home long before it was cool. I actually moved the team to be 100% from home working about more than a year ago, about 14 months ago, 16 months ago. And we actually all love working from home, and I think our productivity has actually increased from home. Yeah, I mean, this is it's a small project for an MMO. There's not many other MMOs out there that are just a handful of people that are anywhere near our scale. And we try to make it a thing that we talk to you guys and we listen to you guys and we make changes that are wanted by the community, which again is part of why having a constructive community is so important. You want to 3D print your pet pig? These are the important things. I see who showed everybody how to do the highlight. Every other message is now highlight. But anyway, taming food. I see a couple people mentioning taming foods. So that is one of the things I'm looking at, is trying to get taming foods. I actually, for those who remember, I was hoping people would forget, but of course some people who are also friends of mine on Facebook and harass me there about things never forget when I mention anything taming that I've promised. There's supposed to be a shadow taming buff, which I'm trying to make things work better with the taming buffs and pet buffs, but that also goes along with the pet food. I do still have the pet taming thing, and I think actually for one brief moment on one patch there was the taming you could learn. Oh no, it was dropping, but no one actually got one out there. But I was going to say it was in the drop list that you would get the recipe for the taming buff, the taming potion. But Treasure Pile says we need white roses. Pretty please. These are the important things. What if we make them dyeable? I know you guys love dyeable, right? Sorry, just going to throw that up every time anything comes up that people want colors. You should move your webcam down a bit. I'm off the screen about half the time. I need to do the zoom out a little bit, I think. And again, forgive me. I think like many people know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that right now my streaming is not just of the game, but it is also streaming for grandparents and for friends that we haven't seen or whatever else. And my webcam's getting used for a lot of stuff. I think I probably had it adjusted for the family being back here rather than me being up here. Everything should be dyeable. If we didn't have those like flashing dyes that were epileptic seizure inducing for some people, I might say that's true, but I don't think everything should be dyeable. And there is a lot of work that goes into making stuff dyeable, or else if it were just a flag, a checkbox, I expect Elgarion would probably go in just at random and like check random stuff. But it's actually a lot of work. We have to set up, oops, sorry about that. We have to set up texture channels and do extra texture maps so that we can map out in basically using an RGB, using the 4 channels in a texture to mark where the dye stuff can go for different things. But anyways, just for those who are new, the short version is I am actually a dev on Shroud of the Avatar, and I do actually try to listen to you guys as much as possible. Preston, thank you twice. Oh, and thank you Robert Frostman. I gotta get back and thank some people here. Let's see. John Marcus, I will not forget your song. I think I'm gonna do because Maxine was singing this last night. I don't even know why she was singing this. She was totally butchering the words. I will nail it. But Don't Stop Believin'. I think that's going to be my song. The wife joined in on that one last night. But thank you, Snugsy1. Thank you, Preston John. And thank you, Frost Robert. Thank you guys so much. Again, if I seem stressed, it's because I am. Deep breaths. No, but I did lose a lot of sleep because, again, the decisions that we made today were not easy ones. And we know they will have some repercussions. So, let's see. So, back to crafting stuff. So the food stuff, I do hope, my dream is still that if I can improve it, the existing foods, again, it reuses a lot of the content that we already have. This is not me trying to like go out there and make something totally new, make a totally new system. This is me trying to make the 80 plus recipes we have actually have some meaning to them, because right now they don't have much meaning except for just, again, a handful of recipes. And I take that back. They have meaning, but they basically go into everybody's craft the first recipe of every food one time, so you can get the big bonus XPs at the front. But we're trying to make it more meaningful than that. We're trying to make it something so there's actually choices in foods that you have. And I know some people see it as, I'm working on a new system instead of fixing the existing ones, but I'm really trying to fix the existing one. I'm trying to make one that does not get used. Let's see. I guess I could go. Oh wait. I guess I can go look at questions. You guys asking any questions? Holy cow! I haven't done any prizes. Let me do one prize here. Did I even start my chat bot? Looks like I started my chat bot. Let me get a prize up. Hold on. I'll do two prizes. I'll give one big prize at the end. I'm gonna reset the prize thing now. And I'll just open it up saying good stuff and do something good here. So do the prizes now. You guys deserve some prizes for tolerating me listening. Or tolerating me babble on about stuff. Oh, and also if you're new, you will learn that I am easily distracted. This goes for all things in my life, including the stream. And let's see, what should I give away? And you may also notice I'm on a slightly newer version of the game than you guys are. I still haven't published it. It's got some minor fixes in it that we need to get out, but I didn't see it as anything urgent. And I didn't publish it because I keep meaning to talk to one of the other programmers, Wizard Smoke, about a server change he made. So I just haven't published it because of that. And again, it's a pretty minor fix. It will remove some content from some of you. I won't say what it is, but yeah, it was far from urgent, so I did not want to rush it out there and risk some server badness. Let's see, if I were going to give away a prize, what would my prize be? Oh, a Greyhound! Also, for those who don't know me, I have, if you see Greyhounds or small Greyhounds in the game, I have a Italian Greyhound who is not in my office because my daughter has stolen him away from me. But I have an Italian Greyhound that's a 10-pound Greyhound. You will find him in Owl's Head on the bridge. His name is Mojito. I still have not gone back to make him so he hits for 10,000 points of damage if you try to attack him, but I should. But anyways. And yes, and my daughter has stolen him because she is now home 24/7, except for the occasional outing to the pool, which we tried to go to the pool today and there were more than 3 kids there, so we turned around and came right back home because we were taking it seriously. Let's see, what do you guys want? Recently added stuff. Oh, player-owned town wagon, that could be a good one. Shogun 3-story village keep home. What do you think? That one? I'm trying to give you guys good stuff today. We'll do that. We're going to do a Shogun story keep village home. How cool is that? Looks like it's going to be really cramped inside, but it's a village, so I'm okay with that. Anyways. So the other things, if you're new to the stream, again, this is 190 people. It's more like the number of people I get on a Friday stream. If you have not seen our Friday streams, join us on Fridays. We do lots of giveaways of lots of stuff. We have a system that lets you in-game join in the raffle. And we give away like 18 prizes on Friday. And that's also Elgarian will join me. Usually we'll have at least 1 or 2 other people. I think last time we had Sanyo, who is one of our level designer guys, builders, does quest stuff. He is freaking amazing. And I haven't seen him say that in chat or chime in chat, so I don't think he's listening, which means I actually mean it. I'm not just trying to suck up to him. Most of the team are amazing, or people on the team are amazing, honestly. Uh, oh, now since I said most, that means somebody is not amazing. Now you guys are gonna have to discuss who's not amazing. No, everybody on the team is amazing. It's just different levels of amazing. Uh, thank you, Snugsy1. Uh-oh. I just got a message. Spam. Let's see. I'll do the Shogun keep for this one. But anyways, the Friday stream, we tried. Sometimes we have a theme. Sometimes we just, a lot of times lately, we've just been coming to hang out and chat because we actually have had better feedback on us just coming to the stream to answer questions that you guys always have. So, again, I don't know if we have a theme this Friday. We've got a lot of new stuff to talk about, but I'm not sure if we're going to make it a specific theme. Sometimes we'll also do a fishing contest. We've been doing fewer of those because Elgarian's been running a lot of in-game fishing contest stuff. And anyways, come hang out on Friday. It's Friday at 4 to 5 p.m. We'll usually start a little bit early, sometimes go a little bit long. But let me look at the questions. If you are also new, if you do exclamation mark question space whatever, it will dump a question into my question log, which I now have like 1,057 questions in my question log since I last reset it. Malum Calfire asked a good one here. When will we get enchants and masterworks for the new skills that were added? Example, would be Bard and Tame. Would be nice if we can give them all masterworks and enchants. And that's one of the things, again, this is not this release. I'd hoped it would be like 5 releases ago, but again, as I dive into the crafting stuff, I keep finding I'm deeper and deeper and deeper into stuff I want to change and stuff I want to fix. But that is one of the things I want to add, is adding more options to the enchants and masterworks. Now, this is not something that is without danger. As I've mentioned before, if I add more things to those, right now, as I mentioned earlier, the scarcity basically in crafting, there's a little bit of scarcity in item collection, but the primary thing blocking you guys is that scarcity gets a multiplier of how scarce it is, because it can be tough to get what you want, the exact set of buffs that you want into a final item, because of how it chooses randomly from a set of options. Now, that is awesome, and adding more buffs to that list, or options to that list of enchants and masterworks, is awesome, and it needs to happen, and it's going to happen. But there's got to be at least one other change that I've mentioned before that happens. Otherwise, that scarcity multiplier I just mentioned, how tough it is to get the exact set of buffs you want, gets even bigger. The multiplier gets bigger because there's more things to choose from to go into that list. So that will be happening definitely by end of the year. Not happening right now. I do plan to have a major overhaul of some of that stuff as well, in terms of the buffs that go in there. I think the buff choices that go on it, again, I look at the metrics. I think people know by now that I'm a numbers guy and strongly believe I try to listen to you guys, but I also try to watch behaviors and see what you actually do. And because sometimes what you actually do does not match up with what you think you do. But anyways, watching the buffs and seeing what things are in there, it kind of has the same issues as well, that which buffs get used more than others and which never get used. And that's kind of one of the things I want to make sure and do, is whenever I'm looking at a system like crafting, is make sure that we have, there's not something in there that doesn't get used. That's another thread I have open, since I always see people chime in and saying I never look at the forum stuff. I do look at the forums. Oh, and that brings me to another topic, speaking of jumping from topic item to item. But I have a thread in there about useless skills as well, and honestly, a lot of the stuff in there matches up with what I'm seeing. Let me jump to the one other topic I wanted to hit, and then I'm going to do the drawing for the first prize, and then I'm going to give away a second prize at the end of the stream in about 15 minutes or so. But the topic I wanted to hit real quick, and again, get in your last raffles before I do the drawing, is I had some people frustrated that I put the poll for how effective stats were on Twitter rather than putting it in the forums. So I do use Twitter a fair amount. I do look at the forums quite a bit. No, I cannot see every time I get tagged, because I literally get tagged more than 100 times a day by people who want to attract my attention. Now, that does not mean you have to go get on Twitter, but with the thing I like about Twitter is what I would find when I would spend all my time in the forums and respond in the forums and post stuff in the forums is that's my day. That's like I will spend 6 hours of my day just dealing with the forum stuff, replying to stuff, posting the stuff on the forums, and that's I have a lot of work to do. So I do use Twitter a lot just because it is a smaller audience, but the bigger thing is it never ends up eating up much of my time. I can go and look at it, in a matter of minutes, seeing your replies, reply back. It's all very quick. So again, me using Twitter is, I'm not trying to rule out anybody who doesn't have Twitter or anything like that. I'm just trying to get a small audience to bounce ideas off of sometime. The poll that I put up there, that was not intended to be the final destination for it. That was the intent was for me to put the poll up there to get feedback from you guys, to see like how did this poll go over? Did enough people understand it to get meaningful data out of it? Was there some way I could better relay it to you guys before I did a wider poll on that? Because I will be doing a wider poll and also adding in more than the top 25 stats that were in there. So again, Twitter is not intended to exclude things. I have asked Tassilo to put a box for us that shows my Twitter feed on the front page of the website so you guys can see that stuff. But again, the primary reason for me using Twitter more often than I jump in the forums is, again, when I go to the forums, I lose half my day reading through stuff, catching up on stuff. Now, a lot of times I do open stuff and leave it open as a thread I try to watch. And also Elgarion's really good about doing that for me and helping me out as well. But the main reason, like I said, is just purely a matter of Twitter is quick and small. I don't get into arguments with people on it or try and write up the perfect post, and get across all my thoughts. It's really just quick. But you can follow me. I'm Catnip Games on Twitter. We do have a Shroud of the Avatar account that's kind of for more official stuff. But Catnip Games is kind of my personal thing. And for those who don't know, Catnip Games is actually the company name for Shroud of the Avatar. Let's see. Any other than food for crafting on the runway? Yes, so there's going to be tons of crafting changes. Again, this is, I think some people saw my poll where I was asking the relative skill value. Oh man, I did it again. Hold on, I'm going to get back to this one in a minute. I'm going to go do the drawing, or else it'll be the end of the hour and I'll just have to do 2 drawings in a row. Let me do a quick drawing here. All right, here we go. I'm going to pick a winner. This is for the Shogun thing. Bam! Oh, you got in just under the wire there, Unbeliever Dragon. Okay. So there's a long story here, which is back when Star was on the stream every time. By the way, Star's going to start being on some Friday streams occasionally coming up. He would, anytime somebody would come up for like one of the prize winning things that was somebody we know and people know we know them when we talk to them, I would always yell rigged. And if you ever saw any of those, there should be like someone should put together like outtakes, just like the snippets of me yelling, saying rigged or fixed or whatever, and the looks that Star would give me on those things. Because I would say like rigged, and Star would give me this like. It was always, I thought it was hilarious. It was always awkward too. It was one of those like pull the collar moment. But anyways, it is not rigged. Thank you, iStar Strider. Also, thank you, Rayo Ingalls. I don't know, but thank you anyways. Tolmart, thank you very much. Waldo Ptolemy, thank you very much. Times 3. Scout. Thank you very much. Kill 3 monks. Why not kill 4 monks? 5 monks. And thank you, Snugsy1. Oh, and also thank you, Florian Mambosa. Also, this is one of those things too. I know there's some people earlier in the chat who were said something to the effect of, "I'll lose 15 players if I ban this person or whatever." We get more than 15 long-term players a day, and it's one of those things. Getting people to stay and removing the toxicity, getting more of those people to stick is really our long-term goal. All right, I'm gonna open back up. So now the raffle thing, I know you will all ignore me anyways. I'm going to allow entries in the raffle, so you don't have to do raffle again if you already did raffle. I know you're gonna do it anyways, but I'm telling you, you don't have to. I'm not gonna clear the list. So there we go. It's been cleared. So let's see, what other questions do we have here? Oh, I was going to get back to this question now. Things other than crafting on the runway. Yeah, crafting is the first thing that's on the runway. I think I put out that poll and people thought or food was the first thing on the crafting fix runway. Not the first. There's already been a few minor fixes in it. But the poll that I put out trying to get relative value. So I don't think I went into the details on that. Really what I was trying to find was if I have, for instance, a potion that gives you +5, +10 strength for an hour, and another potion that gives you dex for an hour, how many points of dex does it need to be to make you think about it? Now, this is one of those things I totally get that this is going to be very different with different people. If you're an archer build and someone gives you dex, choice between 10 points of dex, 10 points of strength, you might choose dex. Whereas if you give that same thing to a fighter or a mage, they're going to be like, what? No way. That's 10 points of dex, or 10 points of strength. I'd want like 20 points of dex or more. But anyway, so I totally get that there's a lot of stuff that comes down to builds and people have different builds. This is, again, trying to take a temperature because I can't make potions that are, balance themselves for your builds. I have to kind of try to pick some middle ground, some median, values for things. And this is, again, part of the balancing process of trying to make sure if I'm going to go in and touch food, and we know there's a lot of balance issues, I wanted to get a temperature of these things. But it's not going to stop with food. It's going to go over, and it will probably end up going to some of the potion stuff, alchemy stuff, and it would probably eventually end up with some minor changes to enchants. Now, again, like enchants and masterworks and those type things, in addition to bringing more in, there's also going to be going and adjusting some of those that exist now. Now I've got the challenge that a lot of those items are out there, so I either have the choice of redoing, basically destroying the old versions of that data and putting in the new versions of the data, so there's going to be the two instances. Some people got the +5 strength bonus on their weapon, but the new guys get a +4 strength bonus on their weapon. And the +5 stay around there. Or I can do the upset everybody with existing items and turn them down, make them all +4. But probably what it'll end up being is I'll make whichever one feels like the most OP. I'll bring everything up to feel like it is on a fairly equal level with that. So existing items that have buffs on them will probably just get some more stats rather than me turning down any in particular. So that is, again, that is on the runway, as you say, but that's part of why I'm trying to get make sure that my spreadsheet of where I feel the value of things are at least is in the same ballpark as you guys. Because again, this is, for those who haven't heard me talk about it, it's the apples and oranges type thing of if I give you, you have a sword, you have a choice between a +5 buff and a +5 strength buff and a +10 strength buff, then the +10 strength buff is the better one. But there's some some changes get thrown into that. If you get the +5 strength buff for 10 durability, or you get +10 strength buff for 25 durability, then which one do you want? Now that's one way that we can mix up things with the apples and oranges, is make the cost of that thing different. But the bigger thing I prefer to do is trying to come up with more ways to get in more apples and orange comparisons of, when you have two things to choose from, don't make it +5 strength and +10 strength. That's an apple-to-apple comparison. You know what's better. Make it a +10 strength compared to a +12 damage resist or something. Trying to get those apples to oranges. And then that also not only is it's tough to figure out which one's best, and it's not as easy a choice, but it also gives you guys some more flexibility in how you build out your builds. Since I see it right there in front of me, and I just happened to look at it, read the whole thing before my brain could stop me. Master Elis asked question, what about the artifacts grinding up for parts for crafting? That is part of my plan, and that is where I'm trying to get things to go. There's been a number of changes to continue to try to move artifacts out of the economy in the way that they are right now, and that's going to continue to be slowly shifting in that direction. And this is also to make more player crafted items more meaningful. But that is going to be coming as well. That is one of the things. I've actually started on some of that. I put in a few items just for test on that, but I really haven't done anything with the ingredients. I'm going to get to that when I get to the actual manufacturing stage, which will probably be the last thing I hit, which is really the crafting of gear. Trust me, you guys, and this is one of the things we talk about that's just kind of a game design concept, is people always want the coolest stuff first. When in game design, or when they're playing a game, they want to see that coolest stuff first. From a game design standpoint, we want to save doing the coolest, most important stuff to last, rather than doing it first, even though that's the opposite of what you guys want. Because by the time you get to the end, if you do it as the very first thing, you figure out so much more stuff along the way. If you do it as the very last thing, then by that point you've gone through, you've got all the problems, you know what all the gotchas are, and you can do a better job of understanding the balance. You want to make sure and do the thing that is going to most dramatically impact how you actually play the game. Let's see. Yes, and I'm totally not. I don't want 15 players to leave the game. Just to be clear on that, this is over the banning of a player. I do not want 15 players. That was what actually I just said that because that's what somebody else said earlier. But if that's what the cost has to be, that we have to lose some players, and 15 may be a very low number, honestly. It may end up being a larger percent of the community. But whatever the cost is, we felt it had to happen. Again, we don't like losing players, especially long-term players and players that are well-known. But we do feel it's absolutely necessary. We feel the game is largely, we're a large community game. There's a lot of talk and people, and this is not just a game like a WoW or something where you go and play and it's all about, can I get in the best guild to go grind the best raid, and I get kicked out the guild if my DPS drops. There's a lot of people here who have made long-term friends, family, people who have gone and met each other in real life because they became such good friends. I've met probably, I don't even know, 200 players or more from the game. And again, we want to make sure that community feels like something that is constructive and something that can help people. I want to hear, I know there's going to be a stream later today on talking about the stress caused by, the stress and psychological effects caused by the pandemic. That's, players in game who decided to get together and talk about it just because they had some professional experience with it. So, that's the type of game we want to be. We want to be the type of game that we can have a community that's so strong that when you have trouble, the first place a person turns is to other people in the game. That's the type of community we want to have. And we felt that it was just, again, having some toxic people, some people behaving in the manner that they were, was damaging that community part. And this is also, I think there's a strong tie between the PvP players in the game and these the people involved. We want PvP in the game. This is not anything to do with that. We couldn't stomach the negativity any longer. That was not what the ban was for, but that was definitely a factor in why we decided to go ahead and pull the trigger. But anyways, totally understand. I do not take any of that lightly, and I'm not like sitting over here cheering if 15 people leave. I actually have reached out to a couple of the people involved in game before the stream and talked to them and made sure they knew that this was not, there's suspicion through association for sure. Doing a lot of talking, sorry. There's suspicion through association for sure. But we're not doing guilt through association just because you know somebody or whatever. So guilt is for being guilty on things. So we're not trying to drive those people out. We're not, saying here's the people that were good friends with whoever. Go ahead and ban them. I think there were some precautions taken to make sure that this didn't get blown out of hand in a super negative way. And honestly, probably for the protection of those people involved, where we auto-moderated or blocked some people from talking on some stuff for a while. But that does not mean we're going to auto-ban them from the game or something. We just wanted to make sure we had control of the situation. So, this rotten world. If you're not doing that, why did you ban Emery? If you talk to Emery, you will find that I banned her. I didn't ban her, by the way. I auto-moderated her on the forums. I actually did not mean to do that. If you talked to her before the stream, like 2 hours ago, I actually undid that and wrote her a personal apology. Wrote she a personal apology, letting them know that that was not intended. So, yes, I totally understand, and I actually... and everybody can be a little frustrated at times again, but that's part of the reason why we're trying to get a grasp on the toxicity and improve the toxicity through just removing a few of the people who are kind of stirring up troubles. I'm sure there may have been something that... I'm here. I'm pretty sure I said it's sorry. If I did not say sorry, Emery, consider this your sorry. Public, on air, in front of everybody. It was not intentional. But please understand it was an oops, not an apology. Okay. Emery, sorry if I banned you last night. It was not intended. That was a mistake. But yes. And glad you're here. All right, guys. Again, I'm sure this will be a topic for a while to come. I'm sure there's lots of questions. I saw... Can I get an apology for trolling me on Facebook and an email? There's a tongue sticking out behind that. Never. But anyways, I'm sure there's going to be lots more fallout and talk from this. We will make sure we can tell you what we can tell you. Again, we try not to, when someone gets banned, we try not to talk too much about it. There's been exceptions to that, obviously, like when I banned a bunch of people for botting, and I said, I'm banning some people for botting, and then a bunch of people yelled, I got banned! But we try not to talk too much about it. We are trying to take seriously the whole getting a grasp on the toxicity of the community. That was my phone. It heard me say seriously and thought I was talking to it because Siri could have picked a better word. But anyways, we are trying to get a serious grasp on it and just try to improve the community. We are not trying to silence people who are bringing constructive ideas. We're trying to bring people who are, we will try and silence people who are making personal attacks on others, or people who, through their actions, however they're doing it, toxic or whatever, are silencing other people so we can't hear everybody's opinions. Because that's one of the other things that we have, is when people start getting nasty about things in the forums, on chat and Twitch, on Discord, whatever, we can't hear everybody's opinion. We want to hear lots of people's opinion. We don't want to hear just the small percentage of people who are the loudest. So, all right, guys. Turn that off. I want Apple to hear everything I say about them. Apple, you're amazing. Guys, let me do one more drawing here, and then I'll send out some prizes, and then I'm going to go give my kiddo a hug. I'm sure there are lots more questions coming up. We'll deal with them as much as we can, but again, we can't answer everything. Please don't speculate on, I might get banned if I do whatever. This was, again, this was not something that was a small thing. You're not going to get banned for saying something on Facebook, or, you guys have seen there's there's some people saying bad things here in chat. This isn't that type of thing. Yeah, I think people know I bite my tongue and try to listen as much as possible. This was pretty heinous and continuous. And also, I even gave him a chance to walk back some stuff. Told him to cool off, and he just didn't want to cool off. So, again, let me do a quick drawing. Let me figure out what we're going to do here. Well, I gave away a village lot for that, for the first, or village house for the first one. Let me see if I can give away a lot for this one. That way, when Elrond wins this one, he can put the house that he won on his lot. I don't think I've had two people win. Oh, no, I have had two people. I have had one guy win twice in a single stream. I think I gave him the thing, and then I also did a second one, gave it away. All right, so I'm going to give away a village lot property deed for this second one. Yeah, I forget who it was, but I know I did that once and then just ended up giving away two of the prizes. But so we'll give away a village lot property deed, a pot village lot property deed, because why would you live in a boring old town? But make sure and get in the raffle. If you already raffled in, you should be in there already. Hey, community, the avatar just subscribed. What? Also, thank you. Let me get back there and find some people here to thank. ZG Sample I2A, thank you very much. Alta, thank you very much. Sean Butts, 17 months resub, thank you. Oh, tier 3, I don't even know what that means, but that sounds important. Thank you, Sean. And again, iStar Strider, I know I already thanked you, but thank you for all the stuff you do and constructive stuff. And I'm digging the boots, man. Gonna have to get Maxine some boots. Thank you, Sorgan Texel. Thank you. All right, guys. I know you're just following right now, so you can get in on the raffle. You do not have to be a sub to raffle. Oh, and thank you, Preston Jong, for the 501 bits. You don't have to be a subscriber. You do have to follow to get on the raffle. And the other thing you'll have to do is give me your name in game. Pretty sure I know Elrond's name in game. He already gave me that. Let's see. So we're going to do a village property deed. Have I even got crowns? I don't even have crowns on this character. All right. Well, I'll get them in just a minute. But let's see. You guys ready? I'll do the drawing here, and then I'll say my goodbyes. And also, if you're new to the stream, since we had a bunch of new followers today, which I love seeing. Hey, Papa TG, thank you very much. And JJ, thank you very much for the follow. And again, Waldo Ptolemy, thank you for the bits. There's a long tradition with the project. We used to do these live streams, and we'd stream and we would drink alcohol anytime people gave us bought something in game. That was a horrible idea, and resulted in a lot of video clips being leaked onto the internet of us being stupid and drunk. So we moved that. Yes, the drunk days. I keep threatening I'm going to do another drunk day here soon. But anyways. By the way, Star, I believe, is the only one who drank enough on one of those to throw up. So, just in case you were wondering, keeping the scorecard. But anyways, maybe I'll do a drunk day. I keep threatening to do a drunk day. I'll do one soon. But we used to do that as a thank you to show we respect, and we move that to later on be stuff like you could dance or whatever, as kind of continuing that tradition. I am not a good singer, but if people give 1337 bits, as John Marcus did earlier, I will sing a song to embarrass myself to show how much I appreciate it, and also because I know some people like punishing the rest of you guys. So you can thank John Marcus. He does this about every other stream I'm on, so he is used to my bad singing. Now I got to drink up some water here. Talk amongst yourself for a while. Wouldn't want to ruin my singing voice with too much talking. All right, you guys ready? I'm going to do the drawing for the village lot deed. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to click the button. Hands are going up in the, or is my hand? Here's my hand. Clicking the pick winner button. Hands up. Trokip. That's a name I know. Trokip, I forget who you are in game. You're not Trokip in game. Don't stop believing. Hey, Amber Rain. Nice seeing your name around here. Hope you're doing well up there in the lovely pandemic. Trokip McLaren of the House McLaren. All right, I will be getting you guys your prizes here. If I don't know if Community of the Avatar's on there or not. If Elgarian's on there. Elgarian, are you on there? I hadn't noticed. But anyways, let's see. I'm going to go stream, and I have not looked to see who else is streaming right now. Can you get those 2 prizes for me? If not, I can totally get it. I've not even looked to see who's here, but just so you know, I do like favoring small streamers, like new streamers, because there's nothing I enjoy more rating a small streamer who's just started streaming or streaming for the first time and has like 13 followers that are all family members or friends. And then you give them a rate of like 100 people and they're like, "Whoa!" So again, we've seen them before just like giggle and laugh, and it's fun to embarrass them. It's not embarrassing. They love it. To them, it's glorious. It's to get into that 75 person. Oh, didn't mute myself. Well, this one's going to be easy because you guys forgot to go start up your own stream. So Torque, you lucky dog. Torque's also another one of those long guys. Hey, Trokip, thank you very much. Paying it. Oh, 700 bits and 1,700. Thank you, man. And thank you again, Waldo, and again, all the new follows. That is, I'm sure a lot of those are from Marquee Dragon, who's been streaming us quite a bit lately. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to give Torque a raid here. Torque, another long-time streamer. Good guy. I've talked to him. I don't think I've met Torque in person. But I've talked to him a few times, so. Oh, what? Oh, it is rating. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to go to Torque. You are free to go where you want, but Torque's a pro. He knows how to stream. He's already got 20 people on a stream over there. Let's see. Hold on. Don't stop believing lyrics. I should have done this ahead of time. You guys ready? Too much talking today. All I did was talk. I didn't have anybody else to relieve me. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Blame John Marcus. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room. The smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting. Oh, still streaming. See you guys.